Happy Friday, everybody. How's everybody doing? Hopefully well, and hopefully with this 1st of December, we are creeping ever closer to the massive holidays that are coming. So, yeah, we're going to get busy tonight, I guess. I want you to welcome my guest, Cob Web Collector, growing channel. He's getting close to 500 subs, so if you're not subscribed, go subscribe. Just go subscribe. Just go do it. If you're watching this on replay, go click the little button. That's all you got to do. Just click the little button. You don't have to hit the notify. I mean, it's always nice, but just click the button. All right. So, Jacob, we're going to go through and do the normal thing. We get to discuss where Jacob fits in the Myers-Briggs Geek Nerd Dork version. This is Don McMillan's, not mine. I am using it because I am, weird, I guess. I don't know. I know I'm socially awkward, so it doesn't really matter. If we're going to define you, we kind of have to define what each of these sections. Obviously, an obsession is an obsession. That's, us doing whatever. We get obsessed with it. It could be comics, could be toys, could be cars, could be girls, could be, whatever. So the obsession, if we mix that with a little bit of socially awkward, we're going to be called a stalker. Now, if we're socially awkward and we have a relatively good IQ, we're a dork. I'm not sure how we qualify as a whale penis, but okay, we'll go with that. Whatever works. If we have a high IQ and we have an obsession, we are the geek. If we have a high IQ, a socially awkward, and we're obsessed, we're a nerd. Now, to move from stalker to nerd, you have to improve your IQ. So obviously you would just be reading or educating yourself in some way. I am not sure how you get from, I guess if you want to move from dork to nerd, you just have to find something to obsess about. I mean, I guess that's how that would work. And then to go from geek to nerd, you just have to figure out how to become more socially awkward. Just attend a few cons. That'll cure your social awkwardness right away. You'll be really, really awkward by the time you're done with that. So where does Jacob think he fits in this lovely little spectrum of geek, nerd, dork?
Well, I've been prepared for this since episode 11 with Travis. I'm glad he was on here to break the ice. I'm pretty sure I'm not there with the IQ. I fit into the stalker level. So I'm glad Travis was the first one to be able to say stalker.
The first one to admit the stalkerish level.
Yeah, I'm like, come on, people. It took 11 episodes.
You know what? They technically we're all kind of stalkerish if you really look at it, because we're stalking toy shelves.
Yeah, toy stalking.
We're stalking people that work at these toy stores or toy areas. Excuse me, can you go in the back and look for this toy? Because it says it's here. See it? It's there. I know it's here.
Yeah, IQ just isn't quite there, I don't think, for me. Yeah, it goes with my social awkwardness. I could do a Rubik's Cube in like a minute, but
okay. Well, but I mean, we could still squeeze you kind of. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be a huge IQ. Just some common sense is usually good too.
I think I'll fit into the stalker.
Okay, we'll just
All
leave you in
of them.
Stalker then. That's fine. No, you want to go Stalker? I'll let you go Stalker. That's fine.
Toy Stock.
That's right. We won't worry at all about that conversation. Nope. Nope. Not at all. Since we have a moment, I am going to check in with the chat, see who all is here, and say hello. Turning Ellipse, Circlet then, hello. Mr. Nolan, good evening.
Man.
Thanos Copter, hello. Carol has joined us. Action is here. Action is here. Ed is joining us. Eldor has joined us. Hello, sir. And I think that's everybody so far. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
I think I know these people.
It's early. We might know these people. I'm not sure. It is possible. There is a higher than average chance that we do know these 6 people. It is higher than that, probably, that we know. So, all right, hang on. No, go back. There we go. Wrong button. So, the last couple weeks, well, 2 weeks ago, I said I was going to start something new, and then I forgot, and last week I got all flustered and confused. But this week, I'm going to go ahead and do it because I found a custom of the week. Now, hang on. We're going to have to figure out how to share this. Hopefully, this won't do anything with the audio, because if it goes to last thing I want. Okay, Microsoft Edge tab. There we go. Share. All right. Hopefully it's up there now. I don't know. Is it sharing? I can't tell. No. Why is it not sharing? Oh. Might help if I do that. So, this is obviously a Goblin Queen custom. The guy who did it is Raffaello Customs. It's obviously one that he was selling. I don't think it's available anymore, but I saw this the other day and I thought it was really nice. Did kind of a scale comparison, did some other. I do kind of like the gloss. I would have done it in 2 different tones though, because the gloss on the skin tone just looks weird. I mean, she looks like she's sweating, but other than that, I like it. I really do. I think it's pretty cool. All right, and now, all right, we've got this. I got a couple of these, so I got to find them real quick. There's this one from Craig does G.I. Joe voices. Obviously, that's the mansion. Nope, that's not it. It's the other direction. Nope, other direction. Where'd it go? All right, hang on. Oh, there it is. No, that's not it. Oh, and I want to give my wife a big shout out because she did awesome with her makeup on Monday. She did a great Grinch, by the way. Anybody who doesn't know. If you don't know, that's my wife. Liquid Momentum, obviously. Great photographer, does great stuff every week. I love the little smoke from the gun. Looks great. And then, of course, there's Matthew Matson's. I love this spiral versus helix. I think it's cool. All right, now we're done sharing. So, all right, let me. I didn't even get to see the photography, did you?
Yeah, I was gonna say, did everybody see that? Because I didn't see
Dang
that.
it, Jacob! Supposed to help me out here. Hang on, let's go back. And of course this is what happens. Technical difficulties, folks, and not really technical difficulties. I'm just an idiot, but I'm having a moment today. It's been this way all day. I'm literally brain fogged. We'll try this again. All right. I'm going to do this again. I'm not going to lose my mind. It's all right. We're all good. I'm not going crazy. All right. There. Now we can see it. Good gravy.
Looks like nobody did.
So, this is Liquid Momentum. Those awesome custom photograph stuff. Just, I love the frenetic feeling of it. Poor Polly is going to get her head squeezed off. And then, of course, here's Matthew Matson's photograph again. Got 2 different ones. Good stuff. Spiral versus helix. Now, I'm done. Okay, I've not lost my complete mind, but I'm pretty close. gonna say hi to people. I think there's got some more people coming in. Okay, hang on. Wait. Go back. Nope. All right. It's Alice and Troy. Lou. And there's Oz. And Oz has joined us. All right. Now that I have completely derailed the show with my pointless things, what did you pick up this week? Anything? See, I'm going to try to get back on track with this stuff because I keep forgetting to do it. Like I'm old and senile, and I get distracted, and then I come back to it, and I'm like, Did you pick up anything this week?
I guess yeah, but not for myself. I got that.
Okay. Well, I didn't know. So, did you get anything good on Black Friday?
No, I haven't done anything for myself. No, just trying to Christmas shopping a little here and there, but not too much. Not as much as I should be.
Well, I did.
All right, let's see it.
Hang on, let me. Why is it doing that? Don't do that. It's annoying me. I don't know why that doesn't want to go down. Okay, I guess we'll just do it this way. So, press go. Eric. And Sheila. Got them all three for $31.05 shipped.
Oh yeah, that's right. I did see that you said that.
I also got, I can't get these. I couldn't bring them over here because it was just too big. So got my Wave 3 AWOC. I've got my two big guys over there. I'm not dragging them out because they're all stacked together. But my Wave 3 AWOC double all-in came in. So it looks like I don't know when I'll get the game, so that's not happening. And then, of course, General Hawk came in. And I finally got around to pulling out, Trap Jaw.
Trappy.
I saw it. I decided that, you know what, I'll go ahead and get him, even though I have him. But you know what? And then, of course, I have my Agent Helix. I haven't pulled her out yet. Did I get anything else? Oh, yeah. This solo figure. Let me exit full screen here. And do this. Because this part, shockingly, is brought to you by HelloDopeToys.com. So I got my Desert Snake Eyes. So for the bandolier, I enjoy wasting money.
You said you already had that trap?
My
you already had that trap draw? You get a second one?
No, the I have the Revolutions one.
Oh, okay,
the Revelations one.
Yeah.
And it's fine. It's a serviceable trap jaw. I mean, I don't know why I bought that one, honestly. But it's probably because
that first trap jaw, it seems like everybody I know that's not a Motu fan loves that first trap jaw. They're like, oh, that's such cool. It's more the Motu fans.
I don't mind it. So yeah, no, it's been a weird week with getting stuff, and I was like, you know what? I didn't really want to get it. Thankfully, I think I have. Well, I'm getting charged for the Masterverse Evil In.
Yeah, that means
the movie one. That one got charged probably yesterday or today. I don't know exactly. Do what?
The 2-pack for you or no?
No, I didn't get the 2-pack.
I didn't. I was thinking you probably may not. So.
Yeah, I don't. I didn't need a second Orko, even though it's it's the cool Orko. Yes, Thanos. All of this stuff has been paid for months ago, with the exception of General Hawk. He was the only one that was paid for this week. Everything else was paid for months ago. Oh, and the D&D figures, they were only $31.05. I did great there. I didn't have to pay anything. So yes, I saved for the Figura. I didn't know I was saving for a Figura Obscura, but apparently I was trying to get through December without buying anything extra. You see how that works? You see how that works?
Yeah, I think I
My
saw a post
brain's
about
like,
that, right?
yeah, let's get through December and we're not going to buy any more for a while. No. Do you see what the horseman did to me? Do you see what you have in store for you, Jacob? The horsemen come for you. And then when they come for you, they come for your wallet and then they beat it and
Yeah, well,
they
I'm already
slap it
getting,
around and they call it
emails
bad
too,
names.
or that horseman. I mean, the headless horseman. Email's been rolling
Exactly. I have my headless horseman sitting over there looking at me to open it. But I did take the cellophane off just so I could make sure that the stuff didn't, look messed up or anything in the box. Last thing I want to do is open it up live and go, oh, look, the head fell off, sir.
in.
It's so terrible. It's true. It's true. It's true. So I only have, if everything holds true, I have 2 more basic figures and then a 3-pack, and that should be it until January, if not longer. I think everything else is taken care of because I'm not anticipating the Poxis stuff to be out until Q1 2024 is what I would anticipate, if not 2.
Yeah, I think I only got like $50 lined up till next year.
So yeah, it's only 120, I think, is what I've got scheduled. So it's good. It's good. It's the first month that it's not you like slapping me around. So now we got to get to the hard stuff, the fun stuff. I call it the hard stuff, but it's really not hard stuff. It's really just kind of talking about, toys and talking about play. So I know you've watched before and I know you kind of have an idea. So I'm going to give you the definition and I want you to think about it. So a play state is a state of mind when one's absorbed in an activity that provides them enjoyment and gives them a loss of perception in the sense of time. So you're in the moment, you're not there. Psychology, we call that flow. Sports, they call that in the zone. Based on that definition, when was the last time you played?
Actually, just a little earlier today. I was didn't have a whole lot going the last few hours. I was in here popping, swapping, kind of making just some quick little customs, checking out armor on different guys and stuff. It's what I do a lot. Try and come up with something made for a picture or something, but then it seems like everything goes back to how it was originally. I do a little here and there, and I'm like, okay, but I still want my original figure.
So when you were a kid and you were playing with toys, what were your favorite ways to play? Did it have to be a specific way? Did it, could you mix everything? Could you not mix everything? Was, everything in a different space and nothing could be?
I really like back and forth. I kind of hopped around from like line to line. I remember like He-Man. Right, and He-Man was the first thing I ever remember playing with, like getting Castle Grayskull and the figures and playing with that for I don't know how many years. And then I'd kind of move on to another line, and then I guess I would kind of hop back and forth if I had something else. I like that. I think Thundercats and He-Man kind of went together sometimes, but usually kind of grow out of something and move on to the next one and be that until later on when I really was mixing stuff up was got into wrestling, and everybody was a wrestler.
Yeah.
You didn't have enough wrestlers. You started busting out well, man, everybody became somebody.
Well, I mean, those would work because they were just as absurd as some of the LJN wrestling figures. So they all had that same overly muscled body, right?
Yeah, I went through so many lines. I was kind of spoiled. I think I had so many different things when I was younger.
So when you were playing, were there specific ways that you played? Did you have to, too gritty? Did you have to have everything separate? Did you have to, like, He-Man could only play with He-Man, Thundercats had with Thundercats? Was it more of structure? Was it just free? Did you spend a lot of time setting it up?
Yeah, well, mostly all the lines kind of stayed with themselves. Like He-Man was always He-Man. My Ninja Turtles, pretty much all Ninja Turtles, unless there was just like one figure that was substituting for somebody, pretending it was somebody else. But a lot of backyard play for me. I had a big backyard, and we had a pond in the backyard, so all the figures would go for a swim, play up on the mountain in the backyard, drag stuff all over the place, hang them from
So
trees.
you like playing outdoors, so it was more of an outdoorsy thing.
Yeah. Actually, not a while back, I found, what is his name from Thundercats? Slythe, I think, the green dude.
Yeah.
Found him in my parents' bushes. Just hand was in the bush, and I pulled him out, and he's dark green, too. Just fit in their camouflage. And I was like, oh, my God, I don't know how many years he'd been in there. Just...
I'm sure he's probably not in best of shape at that point.
Yeah, just kind of loosely. Kind of beat up.
So, in thinking back to your play as a kid, do you remember how it made you feel?
What was that? I'm sorry.
I want you to think back to when you were playing with your toys as a kid. I want you to think about how that made you feel. What did that make you feel when you were playing?
Oh, for me, it's kind of an escape. I didn't have like the best household or atmosphere around me, and a lot of troubling things that I remember just being in my room or backyard, just kind of escape to get to somewhere else and be totally immersed in whatever I was doing. I was those action figures. I got to be He-Man. I got to be a Ninja Turtle, and have all my scenarios and stories just run through my head.
So it made you feel more in control, right? Is what you're trying to say. It gave you some sense of control over your situation. Okay. So in thinking about that kind of those feelings that you had and thinking about how you do stuff now, are there any things that you do on a day-to-day basis or current activities that make you feel close to the way you felt as a kid when you were playing with your toys?
Not outside playing with my toys still. Just
no, that's fine. Playing with your toys is fine. I mean, that's an acceptable answer. That's the point. Right? I mean, I think a lot of us that are adult collectors, the ones that actually, let the toys breathe.
Yeah.
I think there's something innate about us touching those things from our childhood. Now, they may not be the actual toys from our childhood, unlike some people that have their childhood toys. Some of us don't still have our childhood toys. So, we use those things kind of to touch our inner child and let them out for a little while. And it kind of helps us kind of decompress, and we use them as coping skills and managing the other things that go on. So are there any differences as a child versus now when playing with your toys? Did you do anything differently now that you didn't do as a kid?
Oh, apart from displaying, I mean, back in the day, I never had toys that looked like this. It was just a big pile here, a big pile there, weapons every which way. So actually being able to display things and put them in stances and set them up to look cool the way I like them now, it's a big, huge difference for me.
So are there, you kind of mentioned Thundercats and He-Man, and you kind of had a bunch of different types of toys, but toy lines that what were your top three? Obviously, He-Man has got to be up there because you're still collecting it. I'm assuming it's probably the top.
Yeah,
but what were your top toy lines as a kid? Top three. Just give me the top three.
Yeah, He-Man first. There's a lot of kind of in between, but then Turtles was, I know, my next big one. Got into Ninja Turtles and had everything think of for those. Then, like I said, later on, moved on to wrestling. wrestling figures and wrestling figures, watching it, magazines, everything with wrestling with my wife for a good long while. So those would be my top 3 toys.
Okay. So, are there any toys from your childhood that you've gone back to get or you want to go get?
No, I have nothing like that's vintage or anything from back then, aside for that figure I said I just found. But no, I don't
Yeah.
have any older figures at all. So all these like Origins, all repurposed and just stuff that I'm collecting now, newer stuff.
So, is it what draws you to kind of a toy? So, what makes you want that toy? Is it the lore that's associated with it? Is it the look of the toy? What
I've
happens when you go in and you're like, I gotta have this. Why do I have to have this? What are the things that have to meet for you?
Well, for me now is pretty much I'm into just all the barbarian, sorcery, fantasy, anything medieval. That's why I've kind of started picking up, well, just random things here and there, like some of the Dungeons and Dragons, some little random things that I think we'll see in some pictures later. I'll kind of explain them too. But and then Mythic Legions, of course, you're going to be right up my alley. There's so many of those.
Yeah, yeah. It's that
That's
deep dark hole that and it's kind of like what I said in the thumbnail. It's not a hole. It's a black hole. Your
right.
wallet's black hole, and
Yeah. So I'll be picking and choosing.
I do think that for me, I am shifting kind of my focus just to cosmic, with occasional mythics, the ones that really speak to me, because there's some stuff that just I look at it and I go, no, that's not working for me. Even some of the cosmics, because I don't have slog. Slog doesn't do anything with me, so it didn't work for me. So I kind of have to think in my head those things, and it's a financial choice too. I mean, let's be honest. At some point, money gives, and you have to make a choice that if they're not making me 100% happy, I'm not going to get them all. I'll get what I want. So I know that'll becomes a shock to some people that when they watch this, they'll be like, "No, Aaron can't be doing that." No, he always buys everything. I don't buy everything. I promise. It just looks like I buy everything because, whatever.
Yeah, I'm a hard one to shop for too because I get everything I want to pretty much.
Yeah, no, my wife hates it. That's why she was so thrilled to buy me my 3D printer for my birthday. It was like the biggest moment in her life.
Yeah.
It's like,
make your own damn stuff.
You want something, and 9 times out of 10, it's not even just that. I don't want anything. I mean, if you sat me down and go, "Hey, what do you want?" I have no idea.
Right.
Sorry. I don't know what I want. I'm one of those people, if I see it and I go, "Oh yeah, I might want that," but 9 times out of 10, I have no idea what I want. So we are going to take a look at your collection, your current collection, and we're going to talk about it. And I got to find it, so give me a second. Where is it? I know I had it up. Okay.
Definitely need more space.
Yeah. All right. Hang on. I got to get back into the file. I forgot. I exited the file to do something else. All right. Dang it. Where is it at? Oh, come on. There it is. Good gracious.
Correct.
This is what happens. Brain, like I said, brain is fried today. I am.
Yeah, it's been a long day.
Yes. All right. Let me see if I can pop that up now. All right. So this is kind of a mix of Masterverse and classics, right?
Yeah, those are only 2 classics I got. Is those guards I picked up.
The Eternity and Guards.
Yeah. I was able to come across them, but yeah, everything else be Masterverse, and I just kind of it's like 1/3 of the Masterverse shelf, the farthest left, and farthest right over there. They're right at the point where they're filling that whole shelf up. So I'm
yeah. You looks like you're getting to that point where it's going to be riser time, maybe.
Yeah. Something's gonna change.
Or we know somebody who can help us out with that problem, right?
Yeah, that's
Brick is joining the show. What's up, Brick? How you doing? So,
and yeah, just the in between middle of them. Like try to all kind of separate all the evil and all the good guys on the
okay.
left, evil
That's
on the
what I was
right.
wondering because it looks kind of like it's, you
Yeah,
got
they
evil.
pretty much evened out. I was wondering as I was doing it, putting them up one by one. I was like, I'm gonna try and see how even the numbers are. So came out pretty even,
And
I
yeah,
think.
that motherboard looks so massive relative to the others. It's
Right.
hilarious. All right, so this is origin stuff. This is your origins.
Yeah.
We'll squeeze up in Grayskull.
Yeah.
You do
Same
get
deal
quite a few
here.
core troopers.
Yeah. I was kind of, I don't know. It's a
Were you going to
OCD.
do army building?
Get 4. I'm like, just get 4. If you need
Well,
more, you can.
yeah, exactly. Well, that's kind of how army building works. It starts with one, and then it's like, yeah, he's going to need a friend. Then they're
Yeah.
going to need a friend. Yeah, then maybe I'll just get another friend for that friends.
I
Yeah,
have
and
4 of
here's the
them,
thing.
4 of the Royal
They
Guards.
apparently Toy Habits was they had put up something about them doing now going to do the Horde in Masterverse.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
So I'm just like, I'm not army building that one, thankfully. Thankfully, it'll just be one. And I don't know that I need another Hordak, but it really depends on how it looks. So
Oh,
we have
yeah, he
another
was over
Hordak.
on the side, had like a cartoon of him. So
Yeah, it was the
he's one of
cartoon one. It's the Hordak from the Revolutions.
Revelation. Yeah, so
So
I'm sure I will be.
here's your good guys.
Yep, there's all the Sunmen in the back.
Now this is an interesting use of the king hit or the little snake pit from the CGI.
Yeah, I had to get that $5. Entertainment with that for $5 for like
Yeah,
a week or so. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna use it for something.
yeah.
Yeah, all this.
I've been seeing that one at the Rosses when I'm going to look for something else. I find everything that I don't want.
Right. I think I did see that by Ross too, because I've seen all the Ross toy hunting been going on lately, and I was gonna go
Yeah,
babysit that day. I was like, well, I'll stop by Ross. Everybody else has been doing it. Let me see what mine has. But I think that's the only thing I really saw there. But I already had it for $5. I think it was cheaper than Ross. So
yeah. They had I went every two of the days that I took my son driving this week. He's learning to drive and he's doing good. He's doing better. I'm not panicking.
I've been taking mine lately too.
So it's been difficult. It's been difficult. But we just, we drove to Ross and I was like, why not? Let's go look. We found stuff. Like I found Vox Machina game, the McFarlane figures for the Critical Role. Found a few of those, then found a couple other things. We ended up getting him 2 Dragon Ball Z figures. They were $15 each. That was a reasonable price.
Dragon Balls are something I seen there in mine, but there really wasn't much else in mine besides that.
Yeah. There's just not a whole lot for me, there's just not a whole lot there for me here. I think I found figures once. I found stalkers, and I got 2 of the 3 that were there. And then I found 2 at the next Ross. So I got 1 there. So those are just body fodder for me. So it's not like I'm actually doing anything with them. And here's some more of your Skeletors and your He-Man variants.
Yeah, they had to go somewhere.
Now, is this a vintage?
Yeah, that is. Yeah, I was saying I didn't really have any. Not childhood or anything. I ordered that later on. Got it for a pretty decent price. And it was all intact. All the clips and everything, nice and bright.
Looks like it's in good shape.
Yeah, it was. I was kind of early on when Origins first came out. I was like, oh, I really didn't think Origins would even be this far. So I was like,
I don't think anybody did.
Yeah,
I think everybody figured they would just do the basic core characters and then move on, right?
Yeah, I thought for sure I'd be done by now. I'd be like, oh, I'll get what I want, then maybe I'll start getting some vintage ones at the ones they don't make, and they're still going. So I was like, oh, you may not have
exactly. They're still going, and your wallet's going, oh, you want to buy stuff? No. So this is an interesting mix. I was kind of wondering what the point was of Battle Cat from Masterverse being up there.
Because he's a leftover. There wasn't room on the Revelations or on the Masterverse shelf.
I was just wondering
like
because he's, he seems
everybody
kind
else
of out lonely up there.
Yeah,
He seems
actually,
really lonely.
well, actually, behind him too is behind Stratos there is what's his damn name? Slushhead. I realized
okay.
after I put there, I was like, I put Slushhead up there now. I gotta take him down and get him back on the other shelf too.
Slushhead's like, I'm way outnumbered. This is not funny.
I put him up there because he took up way too much space with his robot and everything.
Oh yeah, exactly.
I stacked stuff in front of him. These are all just kind of leftovers. Like they're mostly like mini comic or just
the variations.
Yeah, didn't quite fit in with everything else. I just threw them up there, and then like the regular Skeletor and regular He-Man, I got 2 of those, so they're up there too. Oh yeah, see, I picked up some of these early on.
When I saw these, is this customs that you did or customs that you bought? Or?
No, they're all what was that? The DC Primal Age by Funko. So
okay.
Yeah,
I just have never seen these. I was curious about them.
Yeah, except for that Lex Luthor's got a mask on him. I don't even know where that mask came from. I just threw it on. It should be ball-headed Lex Luthor. But yeah, I picked those up when that was kind of at the start of Origins too. I just running through stuff because I got that Bat Cave too that I have. It's like a Castle Grayskull.
Mm-hmm.
This goes with that same line.
Ah, okay. I was going to ask about that later because I hadn't seen that.
I kind of just pick and choose through these. I like most of the bad guys, and then
now this is Dragonor, so I knew this stuff. I was like, I knew these.
Those one of my newest things, yeah. And these are just kind of my extra shelves over here where since I don't have many of those so far, they got a little square to themselves. And vehicles and stuff are all packed on those shelves too. that is a mess right there. Yeah.
You know what? It's fine. Okay, now the other question is, who is that?
Who the hell is that guy? I don't know why. One day it was just a random Fortnite dude they saw for like.
Okay. So that's okay. I was like, I don't know this character. I don't recognize any of the armor.
Bust him out. I figured sometime paint him or something. He's got a cool sculpt to him and everything, but he's just real plain.
There's your Roton and Landshark with poor Trapjaw by himself.
Well, actually, that's a second Trapjaw. I might have 3 of them. Actually, I bought Origins for my nephew when they first came out, and he wasn't really that into them. I ended up getting him some CGI ones. And Trapjaw was one of those ones that's harder to come across later on. And I was like, hey, dude, how about I buy you the CGI Trapjaw and you give me that one back? And so we made a little swap.
No, it looks like Grimsword has had a really bad day.
Yeah, my son broke his foot. So
well,
not really. It was my fault. He was up on top shelf here. I learned my top shelf lesson.
Yeah.
My son took him down, put him back up, walked out the room, and he ate crap. But here's what I was kind of talking about. Here and there, just kind of the medieval anything.
Yeah, I mean, you've got Eric in here, you've got Ravenspawn, you've got Etrigan here, and then you've got the Batman.
That Batman I love.
Yeah, the Batman's cool. It was one of those ones that I was almost tempted to get, but I was like, nah, I'm not doing it anymore.
And the reason I got him too is just like I was talking about earlier with you before we started, that Dark Wolf. I got him because I was like, oh man, he reminds me so much of Dark Wolf. And then I got him, opened him up, did a video on him. Then the next day, Dark Wolf was announced.
Got announced.
Come out. I was like, that's so crazy.
That's how it works, right?
Mm-hmm. But I'm still happy to have him. I mean,
now here's your new things. So how do you feel about those Mythic Legions now that you've had them for a little while?
Yeah, once I actually got them open and played with them, I opened them up with my son. I did like a video on them, but they're already open when I did the video. But yeah, just getting them up close and getting in there, seeing the details and everything. It's just, they're so cool looking. That's, I don't know my name still. The names are going to throw me off for a while.
You got Mephitor, which is the little guy in front. Then you got Okios or something like that. And I can't remember. It's Oki something. And
Yeah,
Bryophytus, and then Xenothos is the back.
yeah, the Stratos.
And that Xenothos could really even be made to make a Panthro.
That's exactly
You
what
just
I
take the
think. I said that in my
secondary
video
head, and
too.
you'd have to shave off the beard, but you could do it.
I think I
Make
said
it
that in my
great.
video too. It reminded me of Panthro.
Yeah. Yeah, this is what I was gonna. Yeah, you mentioned what this castle was, so I was
Yeah,
wondering what it was.
I love that thing, man. It was.
It looks cool. It's different, and it works perfectly for the bad guys.
Yeah, it's got a real cool inside to it too. Bunch of.
Thank you, Brick. Okitos.
Yeah, Brick's here. He knows them all. Yeah, there's
He
my
knows me.
my recording studio right there. That's all.
You know what? If it
Not
works,
much
it
to it.
works. There doesn't have to be anything to it. Now,
You just zoom in and you don't get any of that crap around you.
well, and you got a good background. At the end of the day, that's all you really need
Yeah.
for simple reviews and simple other things. You don't really need anything fancy.
There's my cable bill right in the front. I need to pay.
But I really do like that. might have to look at trying to track down one of those.
Yeah, I think they've gone up a little bit in price. I know people are talking about back. I think before I even got mine, they were on sale for real cheap, like $40 or something. But
Yeah,
I need a little more for mine. But man, it has some incredible box art, and the box that comes in, it's just totally like Castle Grayskull.
this is cool. It's different, and it would
It's
work
got a
for
cool
bad
little jail
guys.
cell inside, and all kinds of
Yeah.
stuff with throne.
Wow. Interesting. Now this is kind of an overview shot of your Masters collection. Just a general shot, and then there's another one here in a second. So this is the top, the next two shelves, up.
Yeah. There's all my box.
So are
stuff.
these? Yeah, I love that they're doing the art on the outside of the boxes.
I'm
really
a
do.
hoarder too. Some of those are empty. No, I think all those ones, except for the motherboard. Motherboard's empty, but I have all the other ones, all the other boxes in boxes. I can't throw them away.
And that's okay. I mean, some of them, it's as long as they're not. The 40th anniversary He-Man and Skeletor box is fantastic. That packaging is awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's nice
all
that
that
you can put it back.
Too.
You can put it back in and not have to worry about it. It's very collector friendly.
Yeah, I don't think they're up there. They're in a box over here too. I need to get them up there. There's my Johnny 5 up there. I love that Johnny 5 Lego.
Now, I wanted to finish the pictures with this because I know this was something that you did a tutorial on and you did a little contest on it, and it's interesting. It very, very much screams, small soldiers.
Right. That's what I got a lot of comments on. Small soldiers.
So it's cool. It's a cool idea. Yeah. It's a cool idea, and I think it's interesting. I put it at the end because I thought it was kind of the most relevant to kind of you getting your creative side.
Yeah, that's why my centerpiece up there too.
Yeah.
I really like them a lot too. I'm always showing them off.
So that's all of the toys, I think. Yep. Nothing else in the toy section. All right. So now that you've kind of gotten to the independent toys like Mythic Legions and obviously the Frazettas, girls figures, see how much they do in Fire and Ice, and who knows what else they'll get to with as much art as Frazetta did. There's going to be a lot of stuff that could possibly be a figure. I would assume it'll probably be in this kind of if you've seen Executive Replicas, Red Sonja kind of figure. Have you seen that one? I have a feeling we're going to get quite a few of those kind of, chainmail swords and sorceress females.
Yeah, that scares me with those. $80 for that Dark Wolf. I was like, ooh, that's the most I've.
Oh yeah, they're not going to be cheap. No, you're talking about a really small order quantity for those. So there's not going to be, they're going to be heavy prices, but there probably won't be as many a year. So that's the other thing. Really? There's another Red Sonja coming out? They just brought one out not too long ago. Why do we need a second one already? Executive replicas must be out of ideas. They've got plenty, but they do have a Grendel coming out. I'm just saying. They have a Grendel. I might be getting that one. Oh, it's Boss Fight doing it now. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Yeah, no, I won't be getting that one then. I'll get the other one. So, when you buy your toys, when you make your choices and selections, is it the lore that's associated with it that makes you buy it, or are you focused on it being it has to be something established, or does it really matter as long as it looks cool?
I mean, all my He-Man, my main thing, just anything He-Man. So all those are what they are. But then, like I said, outside of that, just like I've been picking up these random ones, just anything that gives me that medieval kind of feel. I've just always been big into that, like Conan the Barbarian. I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan. So anything swords and castles and all that, wizards, anything like that, I'm gonna probably be picking up if it catches my eye. Just as long as it looks bad.
So what about this community that we're in? Just in general, the community of collectors. Does that kind of influence any choices that you make as far as your toys go?
No, outside of just showing me something I may not know about. I mean,
and speaking of showing you stuff that you may not know about, that's pretty much Brick's modus operandi there. He will send you everything. And he'll correct me because he knows that I don't know it all, because I will admit that I don't know jack.
Just watching Brick's shorts.
Yeah.
It's just new short every day, and there's every other day it's something. It seems like I'm like, what the heck is that? I have to reread the title. I'm like, I've never heard of that.
Yeah, exactly. There's so
much
much
out there and off stuff.
Yeah,
cool stuff.
For whatever reason, he finds the weird stuff. It draws him in. Mm-hmm. So, as far as collecting toys, a lot of us have, stopped and started, and we collect toys here, we collected toys there. We didn't collect for a long time. Brick, I don't consider it a bad thing that you're correcting me. I appreciate it. I do not know it all. I know you have more knowledge about that stuff than I do, and my brain does not work as well. Unfortunately, my brain, with my age, is apparently rotting. It is not a bad thing.
Got the IQ going on.
Yeah, that's the IQ may be there, but the brain ain't functioning. I'm like, how when you get the nice little wheel of death, and when you're doing your internet, and it's yeah, that's my brain all the time now.
Always buffering.
It's completely buffering all the time, and it's gotten worse. And I know it's gotten worse since COVID, so I know it's probably some brain fog and some other things. But yeah. So was there a time where you were collecting and then stopped collecting?
Yeah,
and yes, probably.
You're indeed. Yeah, I mean, I guess when I was younger, it was collecting. Like probably the last thing I had, I don't know, into my up to my 13, 14 was my wrestlers were kind of my last thing. I had those boxed up and sold them off, but then around I think 17, I started working. I got into that was when I really got. I wasn't an adult, but more adult collecting, and set stuff up with Star Wars and kind of Power of the Force. Got me into collecting Star Wars, and that's why I was doing dioramas and stuff too. I had my whole room was just stuff made out of styrofoam and making it look like Tatooine, and I had all my figures everywhere and ships hanging from the ceiling. I collected that for I think up until my first son came, so when I was 22, so like 17, good 5 years of collecting Star Wars. So we moved out to our new place, boxed them all up, and they just sat there for a while, and ended up giving them to my nephew. So I didn't really get into collecting again until 2020. So pandemic was
You
going
had
on.
you had a nice long break like I did. Mine
Yeah,
mine
very,
was
very long break.
mine was like I think 23 years between the
Yeah,
time that I stopped collecting and the time that I started collecting again.
up 22 to about 20 years for me. Yeah,
Yeah.
19
It's
years.
always interesting because it's interesting kind of what brings us back. So what brought you back to collecting? What was it that made you go, I probably should collect again?
For me, it was getting sober. I drank heavily, like heavy for close to those whole 20 years. Maybe I started drinking and just stopped collecting. But yeah, February 2020, I got sober and trying to find kind of something to do with my time, my money. Um, Trying to get something that made me happy again. Just trying to find myself, find what made me happy. When was my happiest? I was trying to look back and just really remember as a kid my toys, and I think back to like my collecting my Star Wars, having them all set up, but then went back even earlier than that. So I was like, well, it was my first love, and He-Man. And it was right at the same time, 2020. I mean, I got sober a couple months later. I think Origins came out, and
Yeah.
I think around the same time I started watching a lot more YouTube and stuff. So I think I came across Scott Knightlick. It was probably one of the first things I saw, just because I was kind of interested in He-Man after Origins came out, and I never knew about classics at all. Totally had skipped that, so that's where I learned about a lot of those, watching some of his videos. I was like, oh
Yeah.
man! So after missing out on all those classics, Origins coming out, I was like, ooh, I'm gonna start picking these up, and just having like that first He-Man in my hand, I was like, oh my gosh! I was like, this is so cool to have like my original, almost like my
Yeah,
original.
you were 5 again, playing in the backyard, weren't you? The minute you had that in your hand, it's interesting how that does that, because
And like I said earlier,
I can,
my safe spot, I think. Like
yeah, I can remember when I went and bought my first classified figure. This was the first thing that I bought coming back to collecting. It was the Scarlet, and I got it at GameStop. And I went back out to my car, and I just kind of sat down with it. And I'm like,
smiling.
is this weird? I'm thinking to myself, is this weird? I'm a 47-year-old man at the time, 47-year-old man. I'm like, am I weird for wanting to play with a toy? And it took me a few minutes to kind of reconcile that in my head. And then I got it home, and I took it out of the box, and I put it up on the shelf, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, I'm okay with this. And it was that moment that kind of changed the trajectory of where I was going, because I knew I needed something more positive and a coping skill, given my family's history of alcohol and drug addiction. It was more of, I knew that if I didn't, at some point the other ones would creep in. So I needed something positive, something that was safe. So, I chose this addiction. I'm beginning to wonder if I didn't choose the wrong one.
Yeah, I see I'm highlighted.
Yeah.
Which was cheaper? I can't really say. I was pretty
It's
heavy up on
probably,
toys. I spent a lot of money on alcohol, but I spent a lot of money on toys, so I do not.
yeah, I think that's kind of a weighing for, he was
Yeah,
asking for a friend.
yeah. We'll tell your friend. I don't suggest either.
Technically, if you can avoid it, neither.
Right.
Right?
Definitely an addiction.
Brig believes you chose the right one, so I think you're covered there. Chose the right one. So, what is it about toys and in toys in general? So, why toys? And what is it about toys that makes it a desirable hobby / coping skill for you? What is it specifically that you can think of that causes you to, hey, this is what I'm going to do? This is how I'm going to spend my time and money.
Well, outside the nostalgia of having all these as a kid, it's being able to just live through them. There's just story behind each figure, backstories, just getting to look at each one, and if anybody will listen, get to tell anybody exactly who this guy is, what his background is, what line he's from. Which I don't have much of that going on in my family. Thinks I'm nuts, I'm sure.
The info dump that you give to everybody about your toys.
Yeah.
Yes,
My two sons.
I'm well versed in that info dump.
My sons kind of get it. They're older, 19 and 16. And I show them and stuff. I'm like, yeah. My oldest son, he has his YouTube. I'm like, oh yeah, did you see that clip in the video? He's like, oh yeah, I checked it out. But I'm like, I don't know if you even care though. I'm like, yeah, I watch all your crap, dude.
There you go. You know what? My son it's my 16-year-old anyway. My 14-year-old, he doesn't, he wouldn't understand the concepts of anything, but he doesn't mess with my toys. But the 16-year-old's like, Dad, you're old. That's pretty much all he says. You're just old. It's like,
my younger son too. My younger son, he has this like OCD, or I don't know. He remembers dates. He remembers movies, what year they came out, video games, all that. And my older son likes my Motu, I think, more. I mean, I know he does more than him. But my youngest son can name everyone way quicker than my older son can. My youngest one doesn't really give crap on, but he's like, I remember each name. So he's always correcting my older son. He's like, no, that's Stinkler. No, that's Webster. Like, you don't even care about him, but you remember everybody's name, huh?
Allison says apparently that's why some species eat their young. So, are there any rules for Jacob's collection? Is there hard and fast rules that you say, this is what goes in my collection, this is what doesn't go in my collection?
No, not really. Especially with like my Motu, I'm bad about it. Everybody that knows me knows that I got
rules.
My hands on.
Your poor wallet with no rules.
The obsessive is really, really bad for me.
Are there any in your
I have
collection?
narrowed it down to. I was getting 2 of every exclusive for some reason. I don't know. I was like, oh, they're exclusives. Let me get 2 of them just in case. Now I finally got to the point where I'm like, I don't need 2 of them. I'm not even opening up the first one. So been selling those off. Weeding myself off that. I'm like, I don't know why I'm spending so much extra money. I just need 1. I don't need 2.
Yeah, I did. I was doing that. I did that with the first 50 classifieds. I have 2 of everything except for 00 Snake Eyes, and there's another one that I don't have 2. Oh, the Storm Shadow Winter Gear. I didn't even open that one because that one was one I wasn't overly concerned with. But yeah, no, I think those rules are what kind of guide my collection in a way. It's also where I can change those rules to fit the collection as it is. Like I said earlier, I'm moving kind of where I'm going to be picking and choosing on Mythics, and I'm going to be picking and choosing probably on every other line. Joe will be the line I get. The next line behind that is going to be Cosmics. Because something about the Cosmic Legions just speaks to me. I don't know. I can't really explain it. 90% of them.
Cool. I mean, even though they're outside of my, like I said, my fantasy, the space ones, I don't know, they're really cool looking though. Some of the ones I've seen, I'm like, damn, those are amazing.
And Jim brings up a good point. Toys are great touchstones for nostalgia, but getting the imagination and creative juices flowing is also part of it. Non-toy people just have other outlets, or they're in denial, and that is some truth to that. There is some truth to that. So you have some stuff that's in box, right? What qualifies as why does it stay in? What qualifies it as staying in the box versus being let out to breathe and play with?
Pretty much my ones that are in box are just the way that they're displayed already in box. Kind of, you're talking about that 40th anniversary He-Man Skeletor. Mm-hmm. I just love that box and the way they left there. Actually, that box is in a box, but I need to get that up there too. And then like the Lords of Power 5 set for Origins, because they're already positioned and they're stances and everything. Keep those in there, and just a couple other ones are just because I really haven't got to them, like that Faker and Battle Cat. I don't know why I have Faker already. I do want to open them up for that, or not Battle Cat, but Duplicate or whatever his name is.
Duplicate, yeah.
Yeah, I still haven't opened them, and I don't even know why really. Just is he?
I think a lot of that's my problem. Is it's not that I have all these toys. I mean,
yeah, I'm like, it's another cat on the shelf. Takes up a lot of room.
This is stuff that I just have to open from the last 2 weeks. Don't get me started on what's on the desk over here.
Yeah, I got boxes.
It's ridiculous. I'm looking at it all, and I'm honestly feeling a little overwhelmed right now with all of it because I'm just like, I don't need. See, and the thing is that with the AWOCs, I bought the 2 sets because I was anticipating using it with the board game, and the board game is on pause for a while. So I don't know when they're going to make the board game.
There's a board game coming out for them.
Supposed to be, but now it's kind of on pause. So I don't know because they couldn't get the order quantities where they needed them. So it's going to be on pause for a while. I don't know exactly how long.
It's like little miniatures.
No, it was you used your actual figures.
Oh, really? Okay. Yes, I haven't seen that anywhere.
No. It was AWOC. You can use the AWOC figures. I'm sure you could use other figures. It just wouldn't have the same kind of pull. But yeah, no, that the board game that was supposed to come out is at the moment on pause.
I'm have to look that up now.
No.
About that.
So Clifton keeps one in box due to rarity. I can understand that. You know what? It sometimes you do that. Sometimes you put stuff that's rare, like my 31 Zartan, my 9 Cobra Commander, the Snake Supreme. I have both those. They're in acetate boxes, and they're hung on the wall in my master bedroom. Now my wife hates that, but you know what? I'm going to do it anyway. And that Cobra Commander that's coming with my Hiss tank, it's getting put into a clamshell and then getting put up on the wall. So
I was kind of like that Scareglow that was Masterverse. There's not really a big difference with him at all. That exclusive
the San Diego Comic-Con one.
Yeah, it actually just comes with the cool box and the light. I'm like, well, there's no reason for me to ever take him out.
Yeah, no, there's not. It looks great, and you got the other one anyway that you could take out and play with.
Not much difference at all.
Yeah, and that's why I have the other Zartan out because I'm not going to pull out the 31s. I have 2 31s, but I'm just like one of them came in damaged, and I just didn't take it out. So all right, Brick is talking about he needs to make some post-apocalyptic Mad Max figures. I'm sure we could help you with that, Brick. I'm sure there are plenty of us in this community that could help you. I'm just saying. And Daddy Petty Patch Adams has said he counted Joe's the other night, 305 figures. Then there's Hot Wheels, wrestling figures, and then random stuff. Yeah, I feel you. I feel you on that. I'm beginning to wonder about my collection. Yeah. Is it my collection or is it my hoarding? I'm not sure which one it is right now because based on this box next to me, it appears like it's hoarding. And I'm starting to get a little bit. Yeah.
I'm sure Joe's were your main thing as a kid then, right?
Yeah, Joe's were my number one. Masters of the Universe was 2. Thundercats was 3.
You know what? I knew that too.
So it's one of those things where just about the time Masters started flopping is when kind of Joe took over for me, and then it kind of just went from there.
And Joe's were one line. Joe's and Transformers. I had a couple Transformers, but Joe's I did not have. I had a cousin who had a whole double walk-in closet full of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Joe vehicle, everything. I kind of lived through him. Every time I saw him, I'd play Joe's with him. I had some of those 12-inch ones that came out, I think, in the 90s.
Yeah, the 90s ones. Yeah, the Action Soldiers. Yeah,
it was like
nice free issues. I had a couple of those.
Yeah, I played with those some, but like just O-Ring, I didn't have. Man, I had the one dude with the Warthog. I can't remember his name.
Yeah. So Daddy Petty Patch Adams is saying he has the Dinobots. Well, as I have stated many times, Mr. Grimlock stays on my desk, and he's always looking at me. And he's the tidy Grimlock, so he fits in perfectly. And Action is reminding us they're Hall of Fame figs, yeah, but they were cool stuff, just different. The collector's editions, and they sold it. Everybody had one, and their brother, and their sister, and their mom. It was at the time when everybody was selling those kind of special edition, trying to get on that Beanie Baby kick in the 90s, where trying to see if they could catch that lightning in a bottle again. So
yeah. My mom collected those. We had Beanie Babies everywhere.
Yeah, Pops are going to be the Beanie Babies of our time.
Mm-hmm.
So if anything. So is there anything that you don't do with your toys now that you would like to do? Because you got your channel that you're doing reviews, and you're doing that kind of stuff on YouTube. Is there anything that you're not doing with your toys you'd like to do?
Yeah, I want to get back into like dioramas and stuff, because that's what I did with, like I said, with my Star Wars. And the room is the main thing right now. I've got some space over here. I'm thinking of some spots I can maybe build something, put them up over here, and kind of have an action sequence going on.
Yeah.
But as for right now, just would have to do something. That's why I got these shelves. I was like, man, this would be cool to have a big, huge diorama, like to put something out for a whole shelf. Then I wouldn't have room for everybody I got. So I'm gonna have to get some new shelves or something, and then maybe start working on something like that.
It's one of those things that I didn't think I would do when I started collecting. I didn't even think I would be doing all of the stuff that I do, the customs, the dios, and I did. It's like I keep adding to it. Like this week, I bought one of those hand sewers, this hand sewing machine, so I can do like cloth goods for my figure. I'm just like, what is wrong with me? What is literally wrong with me? I don't understand why I'm doing that to myself. It's like I just want to keep learning to do things that I have no reason to do. So, is there any vintage line that's not out that you would like to see come out and be redone with modern aesthetics?
Ooh, that is good. I'm not. Maybe Black Star. See some Black Star figures, because I know those they can make a good Black Star line that would fit in good with Origins, or if this 6-inch or anything, maybe some Masterverse. And same thing again with that fantasy space adventure kind of thing.
Fantasies.
Yep, Black Star, yep. I'm right there with Thanos. I was thinking he's going to say the same thing.
Yeah, it's interesting. So apparently Thanos is with you on the Black Star. I would be with you too. I can remember it vaguely. I can remember it enough that it was kind of that precursor in my head to Masters. I mean, in my head, that's where it's at. So, well, thank you. I appreciate that, Brick. Ooh, Nolan, people keep bringing up Dino Riders, but you know what? There's the Cyberzoic stuff screams Dino Riders. I'm sorry, it just does all of it. If you could get it, it's great. I mean,
Dino Riders. That's one that a lot of people keep saying.
So, what figures are you missing that you want them to make? So, you know how we have those last bits of figures that they're, telling us that they're going to make for Masters and the Masterverse line. Is there any of those figures that, they haven't made yet that you're really looking forward to?
I'm still waiting for a damn Modulock for Origins. I know everybody.
Modulock and Multibot?
Yeah.
Those two, yeah.
Well, let's finish
That's going to be interesting, because I really hope that they kind of scale it so it's kind of an in-between, so they could use a lot of those pieces for the Masterverse one too.
Yeah, and since
that would be cool.
little pieces
so you
here
could swap them out.
Yeah.
You make one that's got a little more detail, because that's the Masterverse line. It's more detailed, but it would be cool if you had one that could do both.
Yeah.
That you could pop the pieces off and fit it together. Because a lot of like the heads for the Origins, the Masterverse heads will fit on them.
Yeah.
So
So and I'm just
there's
curious.
some
There,
modularity
got all
there.
those little pieces here and there. The monger's
Yeah.
chest is to be his, and then
Yeah.
I forget what else. Feet here and there, and maybe like Mantana's legs. So hopefully eventually here.
So it's those things about when you talk about what draws you to a figure, you kind of briefly glanced on it earlier. What is it that speaks to you about a figure? What is it that says, "Ooh, this has got to come home with me"? What is it that figures, whatever it's doing, whatever way it is, besides it's saying Mattel and Masters of the Universe, what is it that says I gotta have it? So you got some eclectic choices in your collection. There's some that just they're interesting, they're different, and they're different for a reason. Why did you get them?
Just they look like they have a story behind them, like the character, like especially like what I collect. Just if they look battle ready, if they look like they're ready to kick some, you know what?
Ready to go to war? Yeah.
Yeah. They get into like Mythic Legion and stuff. I like the little dwarves. I've always liked dwarves too. Just little
Give me
beefy dudes that are ready to
give me
pounce.
dwarves, give me elves, give me orcs, give me all of the odd shaped, slightly off kilter ones. And the good thing about Mythic Legions is a lot of pop and swap, so a lot of the pieces will fit on it, unless you get into the thing of 1.0 body versus 2.0 body, and then that's a whole different animal.
I'm scared
I'm
because
finding
they
that
got
out.
some of those bigger figures too, like the big
Yeah.
orcs.
Oh yeah.
Like,
No. Those
I
ogre
like
scales.
I picked up this dude just because of the size. I'm like,
Yeah.
just to have something to hold like that in your hand.
Well, and that was probably fairly cheap.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like the dwarves. I like the elves. Those will
Big
probably be
footprint on your shelf though.
yeah, they take up less. That takes up a lot of space.
Yeah, that's why he's down here under me. I don't have anywhere
Yeah,
for
no,
him.
the ogre scale
Yeah, that's why he
Kragnar
didn't make it into
cosmic that I
pictures. I
have, he
don't know
takes
what to
up a
do.
ton of space. He's a space eater, and then of course he has legs that wobble like a
Yeah, that is the worst
some.
thing trying to stand him up. He is horrible.
It's because there's nothing there on the legs. The legs are a little
Yeah,
spindly.
he's got such weird feet. He's not flat footed.
Yeah,
He's just awkward.
most of the McFarlane mega figs are pretty decent as far as that, but when you get the ones that have spindly legs, then it's done. Hold up.
Mm-hmm.
So, are there any buyer's regrets or remorse? We all kind of have this moment where we buy something and we're like, "Why did I buy that? Why is that in my collection? I don't understand why I spent the money on that." You kind of mentioned that you were backing off on the getting two of everything.
I'd
That it was
say that's pretty
exclusive.
much my only regrets is when I buy more than one and didn't really need to. But other than that, I'm pretty happy with everything I've got. I'm pretty much
So, what
completion.
about?
So there's not much there.
So, you're
I'm
not a
good.
completionist, huh?
No, I
Are you
am.
sure?
No,
Okay.
I said, yeah, no,
Okay.
I
But you said
am.
you
So
weren't. I was like, wait a second,
no,
hang
I
on.
am a completionist. So there's not really much regret because I'm like,
Yeah.
got a couple things I've missed out on that I regret, but it's got like two
So
more things for Origins I need.
yeah, there's things that we do as collectors, and one of those things that we do is we get to that point where we kind of burn out. Where we feel like it's whatever we're doing with our toys, or those of us that do channels, where we're just kind of like, I don't feel like doing this. It's not in it for me anymore. Have you had any experiences with the burnout yet? With the
I'm in the middle
collection
of it
or with
right now. I don't have anything really coming in. I have a couple things pre-ordered, but more that I got so much recently that I'm like, it's getting like those Dragon Ores, and then I got these Mythic Legions here now, and it's just a big group of stuff I got. I'm like, I don't need anything here for a good minute. In Christmas time, I'd rather just spend my money on everybody else. I'm like, I'm gonna probably take a break. I'm just getting anything really for myself till next year. I mean, unless something pops up that I absolutely have to have, but right now I'm just kind of kicking back.
That's the trick, right? Is we tell ourselves we're not gonna do that. Yeah. Something has to
never
pop
know.
up. Yeah, no, it's like this. When I looked and I saw that Four Horsemen post today, I was like, "Are you kidding me?" No. I'm hoping that it's something that I don't want. And
that was the one I saw. I briefly saw with the chains hanging down.
Yeah, and I'm hoping it's something I don't want. I'll be happy if it is something that I don't want. I know that sounds bad, right? Yeah, it'll be something literary because that's pretty much what the figure of Obscura is.
Yeah, I think so. Ghost of Christmas Past or something somebody said earlier. I was like,
Rick has an interesting question. And at some point, I'm going to have to write that one down. So, if not buyer's regret, curious which figures in your favorite lines are the worst of the bunch?
Figures. Ooh. I think this was a lot of people's.
Really?
I don't know. That
you don't like the zip line head? No.
Yeah, fine. That face.
That face is goofy.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple. Maybe Masterverse 2 I wasn't too thrilled on, but not really a whole lot. I really wish they had Origins, like the better quality of some of the first ones that came out, because so much of like that first wave and stuff are so loose. Just like they're all bobbleheads or their knees are giving out and getting narcoleptic on me, falling down.
Well, I think that's eternally the thing too, right? Because if you walk into the room and you don't get action,
females at the line are hard to. They're the ones that want to knock everybody else down with the skinny ladies.
There's not a whole lot of leg and foot
for
whatever reason. There's nothing to hold them down. So it's kind of one of those things. Yeah, the females in my lines too are the same issue. They don't sit or stand the way that you would like them to. They tend to fall over.
My worst one not too long ago was, the Too Bad from Masterverse, the biggest figure that there is. He's in the back. So I'm like, hopefully if he falls, he goes backwards and he hits the wall because he's in the very back. But the other day, he face planted and took out probably this whole left side, just domino affected everybody. Just sounds.
No. You know how I solved that problem? I got PET, PET. It's basically it's 1/16 thick plastic, and basically I stuck, because my shelving similar to yours, I got command strips. So the first 6 inches around the edges of all of my shelves now is that PET plastic.
Oh, okay.
Guess what happens when stuff falls? It just falls into it.
Yeah.
I don't have to deal with it.
Yeah, there's no lip on this.
And you can attach it with the command strips on the sides and on the back. So I haven't had an issue with my figure falling off again. That's why I haven't lost another helmet,
Just put some wrestling ring ropes all up around it.
There you go. But yeah, no, it wasn't expensive either. It was like I think there were 3 sheets for $30, so they're about $10 a sheet. They're not terribly bad, but it was worth it. Now I don't have to sit there and hope that these accessories don't fall off and the dog doesn't eat them.
Right.
So it's simple solution to a complicated problem. Of course, when I want to get into it, I got the ones that are Velcro, so you can pop it off, and pull it up and out, so I don't have to mess with it. It's kind of nice.
Yeah, I have one problem here. I have a door right here to this side, and I've reached back when my door is fully open. Instead of grabbing my door by the handle, I grab it by the actual door a lot, and I have grabbed onto this thing twice. I think that second time was the last time I'm going to do that.
You could be like making sure you're grabbing the right thing, right?
Yeah, I did it early on. I think within the first 2 days, just reach around, thinking I'm getting the door. And then I did probably a couple weeks ago, grabbed on, and I just barely got it with my fingers, and I tried to let go, and I knocked everything down. I was like, okay, just do not.
Yeah,
do
no,
that.
it's a small vibration and everything is on the ground.
I barely got this thing
fully,
in here where my door is about that far from hitting the shelf. So if it's open, it's like real close to it. So if I'm off just a little bit, I'm grabbing that shelf.
yeah, no, I feel you.
All bad.
So I only got a few questions left, and we're kind of getting toward the end. And one of the important questions that I ask, because collecting is kind of a part of your healing journey, in your case, is there a time that you see yourself not collecting? And what does that look like for you?
I can't really say I've envisioned myself not collecting because I'm just so right in the heart of it right now, I think. I mean, I'm sure once we come to end on Motu and stuff coming out, that'll slow me down a good bit. But I've also thought about what would be my next line after that. And like I said, like Turtles was kind of my next love. And I think if I end up getting room and organizing stuff where I could get Turtles, that might end up happening too. But no, right now I haven't planned.
Well, there's no shortage of turtle lines because apparently everybody gets.
I know
license.
that.
You get a license.
That'd be the hardest thing.
It's like Oprah giving out cars. You get a car. You get a license. You get a license.
Really like
you get a license.
The retro ones, the ones that look just like the toys. Like I know.
So the old Playmates style.
I know. Like what are those? The Ultimates. Ultimates look cool because they look like them and they're like closer to 6-inch and everything.
Yeah.
But then when I see those just retro ones in the store, I'm just like, oh man, that feel in your hand, like the Origins, just that same size and everything. So I think those are probably some of the cheaper ones too. So that might be.
Yeah, no, that definitely will be the less expensive option.
Yeah.
So Happy has a question for you. Who won the most battles when you were a kid, He-Man or Skeletor? Good guys or bad guys?
Yeah, I'm sure it's He-Man. Because I wanted to be He-Man. I was between He-Man, Ultimate Warrior. I spent so much time in my underwear.
Just get you a shield and a battle axe. Yeah, there you go. So, if space and money weren't an issue, because as collectors, those are our grand limiters. But just in general as a collector. And Brick, of course, has to put in the underwear. we will start calling Jacob Captain Underpants now.
Right.
Do it.
Quail Man.
He Underpants. There we go. We'll call it He Underpants. If space and money weren't an issue and you had the option to collect anything, what would you collect and why?
Thought about more instead of like, because I would collect, I would probably have more of like just giant rooms for displaying, like a whole Eternia room. Is what I've always thought about. Just having, we have the castle and then the whole walkway down all the way to the other corner of Snake Mountain over here and just everything in between. Eternia, once I get it, have a whole Eternia over here. I've always thought, Trolla from Filmation.
Yeah.
And they go, Orcos lay on Trolla, and it's upside down. Have the whole ceiling be an upside down Trolla. Just if I could get a whole room, or if not multiple rooms, have a whole jungle room, just go all out. If I had a huge mansion, multiple rooms, I'd be making just giant displays for everything. And then same thing, I'd probably get into like Turtles and have my Turtles and have a whole underground sewer, street level.
Mm-hmm. So, one of the things that I did when I started this channel is I kind of wanted to focus on the positive aspects of collecting. Now, aside from the obvious financial things, but there are some great positives to what we're doing. One of those things is community, and you're part of the community that we're in, where we're doing all of the good things for other people, making sure that the people are taken care of, that need help. When they need help, we help them out. And it isn't always about just the toys. And I think that's one of those things that's great about the community that we're in. I think it's one of those things that's good about the group of people that we find ourselves surrounded by. But one of the things that I've had to do as I've started this journey with everybody is I'm having to kind of evaluate things in my life. And one of the things that I do in evaluation is I'm trying to find the ways and the things that are going to make me happy. And I think that for long-term success and health and, mental health and, dealing with all of the other things in our lives that are, chaotic and chaos, because you and I both have similar circumstances. That chaos that comes from that whole environmental thing. I have to find ways to find joy in whatever it is. And it doesn't have to be toys. It doesn't have to be, it can be as simple as, dinner came out right. Like tonight, I tried something new when I cooked dinner. Worked out fine. Nobody died. Everybody enjoyed it. Works great. Sometimes that's how it works. So with that, I'm going to kind of get into that last question of the show. What did you find joy in today?
My biggest joy, like my kids aren't actually living with me right now. My two boys, they're down with mom, and so my joy day has been time I got to spend with my son earlier on the phone. We spent a good long time video calling each other, and it's my older one that does the YouTube, and he's just such a good dude. And he's 19 now. He's an adult, and just being able to sit there and listen to him today, and he's got such a good heart, and just things he was talking about. Just I'm so happy to have him being as functional as he is and turn out so great. And it was just sitting there listening to him and just letting him talk, go on about his Legos, stuff I don't even understand a lot of it, but just letting him ramble on, and just the video call with him, looking at him in his face. Just I was real proud of him earlier. And that was probably the biggest joy highlight of my day today.
Good. Cool. All right. So here's the part where you get to tell everybody what you got going on and where they can find you.
See what's going on is I believe tomorrow night I'll be with Chris over at Everything's Plastic and Collectibles. We've been we're supposed to be on for the last 2, maybe almost 3 weeks, and we keep one of us forgets or we got something going on. So I think tomorrow night should be set in stone this time. Then other stuff.
Are we sure? Are we positive? Are we?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to message him after this and be like, "Hey, let's remind each other for tomorrow." But
you know what? I get that whole trying to schedule it with people, because I schedule out a month. Try to schedule it out like the last week of the month for the next month, or the last 2 weeks of the month, and sometimes it just doesn't go the way it's supposed to go.
Yeah, well, I've had a good few other people all hit me up right now too, and putting some dates out there for me. I'm like, oh, it's cool to know early. The thing about knowing early is you got a lot of time to forget too. So I'm trying to
exactly.
put it all down on the calendar. But so nothing else immediately really coming up. If it does, I'll probably be talking about it on Oz's or something. But outside of that, just my Instagram, YouTube, Cob Web Collector, both of them. The Instagram's Cob _Web _Collector, and then just Cob Web Collector on YouTube. So I think you said at the beginning, I'm getting close to that 500, and I can't believe
you're creeping close to 500. That's great.
I've even done that. I know it's the last thing that I really ever thought would be going on. So getting closer to that, so that's kind of exciting. But
That's good.
it just touched me those two places.
Okay. Attorney and Lips brought up something interesting, and he got back into collecting due to traumatic loss and depression. It's been a journey, but it's helped me find himself again. One day at a time, bringing back one plastic friend from my past at a time. And a lot of us do that. We
That's good right there.
For me, it's kind of, it's recalling a better place and a better time, and it's allowing me to do things that I didn't think I would do. You couldn't have told me that I would do customs. You couldn't have told me that I was going to do dios. You couldn't have told me any of this stuff when I started a year and a half ago. There's no, well, actually, no, it's almost 2 years now. Wow. Be 2 years in January.
You've been putting in some work in those 2 years.
I now that I think about that, I was just like, wow.
Only 2 years, yeah.
Yeah, I don't get it. I wouldn't have thought about it. And I sure as hell wouldn't have been on YouTube talking to other people about it.
Yeah, that's the last thing. Being here doing this is the last thing I thought. I hate even just taking pictures. I'm still even doing my own videos or anything. I hate sound of my voice, recording,
yeah, exactly, right.
editing myself out over and over again.
Yeah, it's like nails on a chalkboard, right? When you hear your own voice.
Yeah,
It was a little surreal when I did Allison's. I did a pre-record with her, and we were in the chat together while it was doing the premiere, and I'm just listening to my voice, and I'm just like, yeah, this is strange and odd and very, very uncanny valley kind of moment for me.
Yeah, even having to click on my own videos when I'm just trying to go to comments or something, if I'm not through YouTube Studio, I'm just like, it's me saying the same thing, my intro, and I'm like, oh God, I'm so sick of hearing myself at the intro.
There you go, right? And it's like, okay, we're gonna move along, right? It's like, yeah, moving along. So for me, people can find me here on Fridays. Next Friday, I have Kayla Silver K from Geek the F Out channel on. She will be here next Friday. At the moment, that's the plan. As far as I know, nothing's changed. And then the week after, I think it's the week after, is Michael from Toy Habits, but
Michael,
I could be wrong on that. But I think I'm right. And I know Thanos is at the end of the month. I haven't decided whether or not I'm going to do anything on the 22nd. It's kind of up in the air right now. But that's kind of been a month. And of course, every Saturday you will find me on, on this channel with the Clubhouse, because apparently I have so much toys to open that I will never be able to not be off on a Saturday to do that. I will always have to be there because I will have so much stuff to get rid of, to open. I mean, literally, I'm looking at this box and I'm just like, I don't want to show stuff. Half tempted to just go, you know what? Send it back. Just send it back. I don't need it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm fine. It's fine. We're good. All right. So with that, I appreciate everybody hanging out with us tonight. If you're checking this out on replay, thanks. I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. I really do. I genuinely appreciate you spending your time with us. I know you could do 10 million other things, but you know what? You came here, you spent your hours. Appreciate that so much. And with that, we're going to say goodbye. And if you can be anything, be kind. Later.